monthly seminars. And in this is a very special seminar because in celebration of Black History Month, we are truly honored to host Emma Sebunya Kato, which is a very dear friend of mine as well. And he's also the founder of SynBio4ALL Africa, and he's been an iGEM ambassador from 2023 to 2025. Emma is an inspiring advocate for open science, equity, and accessibility in biotechnology. Through his work, he's helping democratize access to synthetic biology, education, and research across Africa, empowering young scientists to create meaningful change and contribute to a more inclusive global bioeconomy. Today, he'll share his insights on how community-driven science, inclusive action, and international collaboration can help build a future where synthetic biology benefits everyone and everywhere. So please give a warm welcome to this friend of mine. And Emma, the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Yasin, for that wonderful introduction. And I will share my screen, and I will share my screen. I guess you can see it. Okay.
Yes, we.
Okay. Is it in full presentation mode? Okay. Thank you so much, and thank you once again, Yasin, for that wonderful introduction. I am very, very grateful and honored for the organization of the European Synthetic Biology Society for inviting me today in this webinar as you continue and go ahead celebrate the Black History Month this year of 2025. Today, I will be discussing with you about the democratizing synthetic biology for a more inclusive global future, and trying to talk about the role of bioeconomy in empowering different societies and different communities. And I guess we shall be, it will be an interactive session. I guess sometime maybe I will have a question for you. So when I have that question, you can answer it and all that stuff. Yeah, but now let's start. I will start with this question to everyone who is listening to us. Have you ever dreamt of building biology, but felt the doors were closed? In case you have ever felt like that, you can just give us a thumbs up. You can just tap on a thumbs up, and then we can continue. Yeah, thank you for those who have shared the thumbs up. And if you have never felt like that, I will share my perspective. Okay, I will share my own experience, how I have ever felt or something like that. For me, that question isn't theoretical at all. Here it may look theoretical, but to me personally, it's not a theoretical question. It's really practical. I grew up dreaming about science all my life, all my childhood. I used to dream about science, to dream about innovation, to dream about medicine, to dream about engineering, because I didn't have a direct career dream, but I was generally dreaming about innovations, science, medicine, engineering. But reality came when time came for me to realize my dream, like when I was joining university. I found that I was doing a practical course which required me to have hands-on training, but I had no access to labs. The access was very, very, very limited. Even you reach in the lab, even the smallest equipment, they tell you don't touch, you will spoil, because it's the only equipment we have in the whole country. So if it gets a problem, which means work will stop in the whole country, and we shall have nowhere to work from. So there was very, very, very limited access. There was limited mentorship, like you just study from darkness. You don't know what next, what is coming up. Why am I studying this? They will teach you PCR, but you don't know why you're studying PCR. Where are you going to apply PCR? Where are you going to apply the science that you're being taught? So, and even the basic tools, they were hard to find. The smallest basic tools, someone may feel that these are very, very small tools. They were very hard very, very, very hard to access. So this experience has helped to shape me and to make me move different miles, move very long miles, many kilometers up to the present day where I am today. Who am I? I am Sebunya Emmanuel Kato, originally from Uganda, but currently studying in France at University of Grenoble-Alpes. I came here a year ago, and I have been here trying to study and build my career. But apart from being a student, I am also a passionate individual who loves synthetic biology with all my heart and soul. I love synthetic biology, I love innovation, and I love science. So, due to this passion, due to this zeal, I found myself being forced in the year 2022 to start up a small initiative. I started it as small as an individual thought, because it started as a thought in my head, a thought which I shared with different people, and they all bought it. And this is the dream which we are seeing today, the dream known as SynBio4ALL Africa. SynBio4ALL Africa is a non-governmental, non-profit organization registered in Uganda, but operating throughout the whole of Africa. What we do basically, we are promoting synthetic biology and making synthetic biology accessible to everyone in Africa. But surprisingly, we don't stop in Africa. Even we have in our community members from Latin America, members from Southeast Asia, and members from all over all corners of the world. And this is why we feel proud so much as SynBio4ALL Africa, that we started with a dream of impacting one continent, but we are finding ourselves getting reach even in other continents and inspiring even other people from different continents. Apart from SynBio4ALL Africa, I also serve as an ambassador for iGEM in Africa, and I have a very simple mission as an individual. My mission in life and my mission as an individual is to make synthetic biology accessible to everyone, regardless of where you come from. No matter where you come from, I would love you to get access to synthetic biology, access to biotech, access to good knowledge and good education. And that's why SynBio4ALL is empowering the next generation of bioinnovators. So to proceed with the story, you can see that there is an image there which may not be making big sense before I talk about it. There is a map of Africa, and there is some words. So these words are representing how SynBio4ALL Africa is trying to break the chains, trying to break the barriers and build bridges. The bridges are to create equity and equality like all over the world. What one person in one part of the world can access, it is also as equally as important to be accessed by someone else from another part of the world. So everything you're seeing in this slide, it tells a story. On the far left corner of that photo you're looking at, that photo was taken in, I guess, 2021. It was a photo of African students from different universities, and they were attending a showcasing event whereby different iGEM teams were showcasing. But this photo speaks of the amount of limitations. If you see in that photo, we don't have more than 20 people. But these people, you will be surprised if they tell you they were representing a continent with 54 countries and millions of people. These people are representing the whole continent, showcasing synthetic biology. So this was one of the reasons that really started building a lot of ideas in my mind, that how can a continent of 54 countries with millions of people be represented by young people? Actually, I was part of these people. Be represented by young people who are not even beyond 20 in numbers. Not that people don't like science, not that people don't like biotech, but because there is limited accessibility, both on the side of information, there is limited accessibility to information, and also by then, I'm talking about by then there was limited access to opportunities, limited access to information and all that. So after looking at that, we started SynBio4ALL Africa. SynBio4ALL Africa, when you look below on the map of Africa, these are areas in Africa where SynBio4ALL Africa has had an opportunity of spreading the word or creating an impact or creating a change to one or more individuals. When you look very well, there are some countries where SynBio4ALL Africa is highly concentrated. Like when you look at East Africa, we have tried our best with our vision to impact at least many young researchers, young students, and even early career researchers to get knowledge about synthetic biology, to also feel the zeal of participating in different activities of synthetic biology, ranging from international competitions such as iGEM, such as the 𝗀𝗵𝗂𝗀𝗶𝗆 conference, because in 2023 we had an opportunity that one of individuals from our community participated at this, attended the 𝗀𝗵𝗂𝗀𝗶𝗆 conference. Then we have had different people who have taken our courses. They have studied in the SynBio4ALL Africa synthetic biology courses. We have had different people who have attended our webinars, and many things have happened. That's why you see, like, this shows the areas which we are covering all over Africa and the impact which we are trying to create. This is only for Africa, but even in the rest of the world globally, we have an impact we are trying to create. So we have heard about all those stories, all that information, but we have not known exactly what is the challenge, what is the biggest challenge. If you ask questions, what is the biggest challenge? Some people will tell you the biggest challenge is money, the biggest challenge is knowledge, the biggest challenge is this. But the biggest challenge in this is, I would say it's more related with how opportunities are shared, sharing of opportunities and equality among different parts of the world. When you look at this global map was adopted from AFN, which was published in May 2023, trying to show the VC capital, the venture capital, how it is being distributed, venture funds, how are being distributed globally. You see clearly that this is North America. It had over $1.3 billion in venture capital. This is Europe. It had over $533 million. And these other parts of the world, they had over 1.3 billion, $19 million. But when you look at Africa, it had $0 million in venture capital funds. So this practically speaks what we are talking about. These are not only statistical, this is not only statistical information. This is a clear representation of inequity in synthetic biology, that there is a reality of inequality in synthetic biology. And this is deeply human, because of this inequality, because of less opportunities, because of limited information, there has been limited funding, because even the investors, the funders cannot invest in an area where people don't know about the knowledge which they're investing in. There is less infrastructure development. The infrastructure is not well developed. There is a high underrepresentation of different groups of people, such as the women and other different minority groups. Accessibility is very limited, but there is a very high talent. There is a very high passion. Many people from Africa love synthetic biology, love innovation, love biotechnology. The talent is there. They can do anything provided you empower them but accessibility has not been put into place. So I have a real story, a reality story of what I'm talking about. And the photo you're seeing there is a photo of young, passionate students who are aspiring to become the future scientists, the future researchers. These students, I was among the main people who were mentoring them, because I have been doing that work, mentoring these students to participate at iGEM. I helped these students to raise resource mobilization, and we managed to raise around $6,000 to register for the iGEM competitions. But it was very unfortunate and painful to these students, to an extent that some of them even have lost morale and of continuing their careers in the field of biotech research, biotech innovations, because they felt that they were going to participate in the iGEM. But after even paying the registration, we failed to raise the 𝗀𝗵𝗂𝗶𝘁𝗄 fees. We tried our best. I tried my best. Other community people tried their best, but we failed. We failed to unlock that lock of finding the 𝗀𝗵𝗂𝗶𝗁 fees, not until these students gave up. And on my last meeting I had with them, they spoke a lot of things, but I had to choose one statement that they said. One of them said, we had ideas, we had the knowledge, we had the love for it, but no resources to support us. So why do we continue with it? Those were the words of these students. So this is a practical example of that. The knowledge is there, the talent is there, but opportunities and accessibility is still limited. So with that, that's why SynBio4ALL Africa says that open science, community learning are the key and the power to unlocking everything in research and innovation. And with this belief, SynBio4ALL Africa has managed to provide open, free of charge trainings to different Africans, ranging from students, researchers, and other early career PhD students in synthetic biology. I will talk about each. And in offering these courses, still there are challenges that we face. Some challenges are challenges being faced by the people we are offering these courses to. For example, very many students, very many participants don't have laptops, so they have to take these courses on phones. So when you reach time, like maybe teaching things related to the computer, they can't follow, they can't do them on phones, and a lot of challenges. Even internet accessibility is a challenge. You find like many students, many participants are taking these courses maybe so they don't concentrate enough because they are taking this internet, so concentrate enough. But we try our best to ensure that what institutions can't offer, because a live example is that if you made a survey throughout the whole continent, you will find that there is very few institutions which are offering modern. They are either based in North Africa, maybe in more, could be studying them. But when you look at the regions of Africa, such as the East Africa plus the Central Africa, very few institutions are offering modern biotech programs, even synthetic biology inclusive. So we would, because students move to different worlds looking for careers, and they find like what they were taught even is no longer being used in application. many research institutions phased them out, but for them, they have graduated with that knowledge. So we want to cover that gap. And in our beginners course, we taught students about the initial ideas of synthetic biology, and this course, we were just starting, we were new, and we had 55. Okay, we had 300 registered participants, but we had 55 students who managed to finish this course and got our certificate. It was a 10 weeks course. Still, we organized another 10 weeks course, which was about intermediate course in microbial synthetic biology. And of course, we had over 700 registered participants, and 300 participants, approximately 300 participants finished this course, and they got our certificate for completion. It was a 10 weeks course still. So just of recent, we have just finalized the theoretical part. These two courses didn't have the practical part, but still we felt like there was something missing, because that is the same trend of many African institutions. They teach theory, and practical is offered in form of demonstration, not practical. But our goal is to offer programs both theoretically and practically, not demonstrations. So these two, we didn't have practicals, but we kept thinking of how best can we create a practical course. And it was that moment when we applied for a grant from Experiment Foundation. Most people call it experiment.com. We applied for a grant and shared with them our proposal. Our proposal was mainly to teach students about plant synthetic biology. After teaching them the theory part of plant synthetic biology, like introduction to plant synthetic biology, because it's a wide thing, the introduction to plant synthetic biology. After that, we also teach them the practical side. Our goal, our final goal was to have genome information for a native African plant whose genome has not yet been sequenced. That was the final objective. So we were lucky that the Experiment Foundation gave us $10,000 to implement this project, and we have finished the theory part of this project. During the teaching, we tasked students to go on internet, make research, and look for an African native species of a plant which has not been sequenced. And students came up, participants. When I say students, I mean people who participated in this course, but some of them are even researchers, others are master's holders, others are master's students, but I just use the general term students, but they are participants who participated in this course. The participants came up with over 20 native African species of plants which have not yet been sequenced. Then we were tasked to create a democratic way of selecting one plant, because we couldn't sequence all the 20 plants. So we had presentations, we organized presentations, students did online presentations, everyone was around, and I remember those presentations. We had over 100 people attending the presentations, and the defense, the people were defending why they feel like this should be the plant to be sequenced. And finally, the plant that was selected, it is called the bitter leaf, Vannonia amygdalana. And this plant, we are now in preparations of organizing lab sessions, whereby we are going to collaborate with one lab back in Africa that can do plant genome extraction, because that can be done in Africa. But it's unfortunate that plant genome sequencing can be done in Africa, but many organizations, many institutions which can do it, they don't believe in open science. For them, they need to be paid to help us do it. So that's why we are going to do it from either Europe or the US. And in doing this, a few students who are going to go in the lab to do this practical work, they will be recording videos. We shall be recording videos, and these videos will be shared in our community, so that for students who have not got the opportunity of going in the lab, they can follow whatever is being done in the lab, from sample collection, sample processing, genome extraction, until they extract the genome. We need everyone to follow practically, even if they are not practically in the lab. And after that, even when we send the DNA for sequencing in any lab, the lab we shall be collaborating with to sequence this DNA, they will be recording for us videos and providing protocols on how everything is being done, and this will be shared in our communities. And at the end, we shall make the genome information available for every researcher from Africa who wish to do more research about this plant. And also, as SynBio4ALL Africa, we shall also go ahead and do much more research about this this sequenced plant, the bitter leaf. Yeah, so that is the big plan with this course. And this course, we had over 1,000 people register for it when we advertised it. But finally, around 259 people managed to finish this course, and they got our certificates, around 259. So this clearly shows you that the people are there, they have passion and they wish to learn, but the accessibility is limited. That's why we champion that science should be open for everyone. We should have open science and accessible to everyone without any kind of limitations. So here are some of the success stories from different people who have participated in different programs of SynBio4ALL Africa. You see Joseph is from a clinical research center in Tanzania. He was giving his story about how the beginner course of synthetic biology at SynBio4ALL Africa impacted his career, how it has helped to develop his career and change and improve his skills. Similarly with Leslie, who is also a researcher, she was giving her perspective on how she was impacted by the intermediate course. And then here comes Patience, who was sharing on how being a community member of SynBio4ALL Africa has helped her, because in SynBio4ALL Africa community, we keep sharing global opportunities. And we shared an opportunity which was advertised by Max Planck Institute, and she applied for this opportunity and managed to get an internship at Max Planck. And she has learned a lot of things, and how much she has learned, we are going to utilize it to teach other African students and African researchers in our community, because we are trying to collaborate with her to share whatever she has learned, to share it with the community in form of maybe reports and in form of different ways, maybe in videos, in writings, in blogs and everything. So I know I have talked for quite a long time, and now I request that we first jump into something very small. It's a question for you. I of you who are on this call to scan this QR code, or maybe to go on 𝗀𝗏𝗏 in any browser you're using. You can type in 𝗀𝗏𝗏.com, and then you put in this event code. I just give in 1 minute for everyone to join, and then so that we can have another conversation on this platform. You're not going to leave the call, you remain on the call, but we can, because there's some question I would love to get your ideas about that question that I have. Okay, so if everyone has joined, I think also let me join there. Maybe Yasin, you can help to inform me if my screen has changed or it has not.
Sorry, no, it hasn't changed. You're still on the 𝗀𝗏𝗏.
I'm still on the QR code of 𝗀𝗏𝗏.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. I will stop sharing and then share again. Okay. Okay. I'm sharing again now. I hope it's pardon? Okay. Yeah, so you can join the 𝗀𝗏𝗏, and then I will open it now. Okay. So the question is, how can we as a global community make synthetic biology more open and accessible? You can share your ideas, and then, yeah, it is open, I guess. Okay. Different people have shared their different perspectives. We see make it easier, practical, understandable, scalability, policymakers, opportunities, open, experience. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice to see that all of us here have different ideas we can make synthetic biology more open and accessible. Yeah. Thank you so much for participating. Now I will switch back to the main presentation. Thank you for participating in that. Now I switch back to the main presentation. Okay, hope my screen can change for the main presentation. It's changing.
Yes, it has changed. Yeah.
Okay, so after understanding on how we can make synthetic biology more open and accessible globally, I would like to share I would like to share a story, not a very long story, just like maybe 1 or 2 words, about what happens when accessibility is provided. When accessibility is provided, impossibilities become possible, no matter the part of the world you're in. Even if you're in North America, even if you're in Africa, even if you're in Latin America, in Europe, and you don't have accessibility, there are some impossibilities you can't make possible. But if you're given accessibility, you can, with your capacity, you can make impossibilities possible. In this slide, you can see very many different small slides, which I'm sharing. These small slides are presentations from different participants of the SynBio4ALL.
We can only see your cover slide right now.
You can only see my?
Your cover slide. We cannot see the other small ones. We can only see the first slide of your presentation.
Oh, sorry.
But I mean, we can see your mouse moving.
Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that, but I was on this slide. Hope it has changed. Wow, I don't know what happened. Okay. Sorry about what has happened, but I was talking about, like, when accessibility is provided, impossibilities become possible. These presentation slides you can see, the small ones, they were from different participants our courses as SynBio4ALL Africa, and they were presenting about different types of African native species of plants. Because we gave access to information to these participants, and we shared with them the knowledge that they required to do this, they managed to do it. This is something small, which may not make a big meaning, but this is how it shows you that if you give someone accessibility to something, they can do anything. Because initially, before we shared with them this information, no one could even make 2 slides about any native African plant species. But after sharing with them the knowledge and the ideas, everyone was in position to come up with a slide of at least, a presentation of at least 5 to 7 slides, which shows you the power of open accessibility to different things, which can also be transferred to science, to biotech and synthetic biology. So when we come together, we can build an inclusive future in science. And coming together, it simply means collaborating, because collaboration is the key to democratizing synthetic biology. Partnerships are a very good thing because they power our progress, and we partner with everyone. This I'm talking on behalf of SynBio4ALL Africa. We are always open to partnering with everyone, and we are happy even if on this call there's someone who would be willing to partner with us, to collaborate with us. We are very happy to do that, because currently we are in an open partnership and collaboration with the Engineering Biology Research Consortium, which helps us through its arm known as the postdoc associations. They help us in building our curriculum, which we teach students. Then they help us on other logistic things, which we do as SynBio4ALL Africa. The key collaboration areas which we are aiming at is open education, whereby we can maybe have joint workshops, whether in person or virtual, open online modules and student exchanges. We are looking at open infrastructure, where maybe we can have community labs together. On this issue of community lab, currently SynBio4ALL Africa, in partnership with Lil Labs, there is a small association called Lil Labs in the US. They are partnering with us, and they have given us a small grant of $700 to start up a small community lab in African communities. And also we are looking at open hardware and different data repositories. If you have open data repositories which can be beneficial to everyone globally, we are happy to collaborate with you and share this information with other people. Also open partnerships such as mentorship networks, because we have a mentorship program. You may be willing to mentor young students, early career researchers, regional collaborations if you would like to build collaborations with different regions. And currently we are starting up what we call the SynBio University Clubs in Africa. These clubs, the vision we have for these SynBio University Clubs, we want to start making students, we want to start giving information to students as early as they have just joined universities. But these will not only be university clubs, but also we shall decentralize them to high school clubs, and also start discussing with young students in high school and telling them about biotechnology, about synthetic biology, showing them, like the university students, mentoring them on how publications are done, also involving them in doing review publications, like writing review articles, because for now we can't say doing a project, because unless if we get the resources, but for now we don't have resources. But what we can do can be maybe review articles, writing review articles with these students, helping them in capacity building and everything, so that by the time a student finishes university, they are not like lacking information, but at least they have the information and the required skills to join maybe the industry, or maybe to continue with their studies on postgrad levels. And also we have a long-term plan of starting the Africa Journal of Synthetic Biology and Biotechnology, but this will depend on the kind of collaborations we shall get in our network, because it's something that requires collaborations with expert people who can help on this kind of work. So we are also thinking about open innovations, like continuing with supporting teams to participate in international competitions like iGEM, also helping these teams in resource mobilization. And if you're there, you would like to support Africans who would love to participate in iGEM, whether supporting them by mentoring them or supporting them with resources or with finances, we are happy to collaborate with you. And also funding underrepresented teams, and also open grants, because we are also looking at getting grants to implement different activities and collaborative challenges. I would love to appreciate different organizations that we have who have supported us in the past, such as the 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗏, the Engineering Biology Research Consortium, the iGEM Foundation, SynBio4ALL. SynBio4ALL has supported us in different ways, both openly and silently. And then a great appreciation to LanzaTech, because LanzaTech is a decarbonizing company in the US. It's because of LanzaTech, that's why I'm here today, because many people say that they are self-made or everything, but LanzaTech made me, but they didn't make me alone. They made me and other colleagues of mine, because they gave us a lot of support when we were still back in Africa, in terms of building our careers, in terms of participating in different international competitions such as iGEM. And maybe we have grown through levels because of them, because of the support that they gave us, and because of the encouragement and everything they gave us. And a very big appreciation to the European Synthetic Biology Society. Thank you so much, Yassine, for inviting me. And thank you everyone from the EUSynBio for inviting me and for allowing me to share my information via your platform. So one take-home message is that open science isn't charity, but it's a shared progress. We can't look at open science as a charity. You know, some people believe that maybe open science is charity, maybe open science is for developing communities, but open science is for everyone. Even the developed communities, open science is for them, because if science is not open, then which means everything requires money or requires exchange of something to get something. So which means the development of innovations, research will always be delayed. But if we make open science a shared progress, not a charity, everyone grows at the pace, and we can all change the world with this concept. You can follow SynBio4ALL Africa. You can follow SynBio4ALL Africa on our LinkedIn. This is our QR code. You can scan it and follow us on LinkedIn. You can follow me personally. You can connect with me on LinkedIn via this QR code. And you can visit our website, SynBio4ALL Africa website, via this QR code. Thank you so much for listening to me. I know I could have taken much more time than expected, but I am excited that I have shared whatever I had with you today. And I'm very happy to continue with the discussion and take on questions if there is any. Thank you so much, and back to you, the host.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. It has been very nice and very insightful. I mean, it's very rare that we even and our audience get in touch with people from other regions, and that have lots of insights that we didn't have before, and to learn about foreign projects that are happening at the moment, and that are things that we may not see every day. So thank you so much for that. We have loved your enthusiasm and how well you are leading the vision of SynBio4ALL. So now, if anyone has a question and would like to answer it in these 10 minutes that we have left, feel free to do so.
Can I just ask it like this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. So a big barrier that I find there is in synthetic biology, and that you can also feel in other richer continents like Europe, is the cost that it takes to set up a laboratory or even experiences for students. I'm wondering if you've had some experience or found some interest by some funding parties in setting up, rather than the most modern instruments or laboratory setups, something that is cheaper, is more scalable and more available for different opportunities. Sorry, well, that was my question. Could you hear it?
Hi, Emma, could you hear his question? I think that he is frozen at the moment.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, yeah, no. Could you hear the question that Davide has asked?
I didn't pick it very well because my internet was not stable. I was trying to find a way of stabilizing it.
Hi, so could you answer the question, please? Could you ask the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I request David to ask the question.
Yeah, so I was saying that one of the big barriers in synthetic biology is the cost that it takes to set up laboratories or experiences for students. And I was wondering if you have been in contact with funding parties of any kind that are interested in not just pushing for more precise or more advanced machines, but also more affordable ones that would allow, for example, to scale experiments over over bigger communities that have less funding.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the question. Right now, we are not like we have gotten maybe people or organizations or institutions who can help us with this, because it's honestly very costly. But in our plan, we have a plan of maybe next year or next year but one, running a campaign whereby we can raise resources to purchase maybe second-hand lab equipment, which can help support different people from Africa. Yeah, I don't know if it answers very well what you asked.
Definitely, that's also a good, interesting resource. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the idea which we want to implement. We want to look for resources, at least a machine which is costing maybe 10,000 euros. Maybe if we can get it at 3,000 euros in second-hand style, it can still help promote more work in where it is not right now.
Thank you.
And it looks that we have two questions in the chat at the moment, which the first one is by Feb, and he's saying, or I mean, they are saying, sorry, that this is a question that if you and or the hosts could answer would be great. I mean, that's a new people asking for our also. Do you think that SynBio is something tangible at the moment that we could all work in, or is it more close to a certain niche of people?
Okay, SynBio is an open thing everyone can work on. It's not close to a certain niche of people. That's why in my talk I said we need to make accessible and open science. Like, we make it more open for everyone, though right now it's open for everyone, but some communities are limited because of maybe lack of resources, because of lack of equipment, but because of lack of knowledge. But it is a tool, it is a knowledge which is open to everyone. Yeah.
Sophia, what do you think? I mean, I think that this is the first question in which someone asks us something. I hope that that answered your. Okay, yeah, that's. And afterwards, we have a question from Fred Johnson Keys, and he is saying, "Hi, so I wanted to ask what kind of work do the people from different regions besides Africa have done?" I think that maybe they are referring to in the part of your talk that you were in which you told that you didn't only have people from Africa but from other regions of the world.
Okay, according to me, the way I understand it, maybe he wants to know, like, in relation with what I talked about Africa, what have other regions done? Other regions, I will start by referencing with North America. Like in North America, very many biotech companies are utilizing synthetic biology to do a lot of things, such as DNA synthesis, and other technologies. Honestly speaking, it's like a very big thing. It's a very big industry in the US where people are utilizing synthetic biology. Still the same thing in Europe, in some countries in Europe, at least where the countries I know about, like maybe in Denmark, maybe at that institute, Denmark Technical University, DTU, there is very many researchers who are using the SynBio technologies to do a lot of things. And yeah, that's what I can talk about, which I'm sure about. Actually, even in the UK, I don't know, but there is a program, a PhD program called engineering biology. This is, they just call it a different name, engineering biology, but it is SynBio. So still, they also do a lot of work. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, a clump of questions have happened. So Nina, you're welcome to.
Hello. Sorry, I'm gonna put my camera. So just to present quickly myself, I'm working with the European Synthetic Biology Society. I am the head of policy, and I'm very, very happy to be participating in this discussion. This is very interesting. I have two questions. One that is easy, I guess. Is there any problem with language barrier in Africa? I mean, because already in Europe it can be, but obviously English is helping us. But also when we are talking about regulation and also access for some people, the languages barrier can be very important. And the second question is less easy. I would like to know, because I am in the policy side, is there like policy vehicles that help Africa to develop the resources for accessing synthetic biology knowledge? I mean, for example, there is a organization that are working on climate, other that are working on crisis preparedness after the COVID. Is there like topics, political topics like this that are helping Africa, to have more resources in the synthetic biology domain? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Nina, for the question. I will start by answering the question of language barrier. Yeah, true. In Africa, there is a problem of language barrier because Africa is divided into, I would say, like three, because some countries use English, other countries use French, and others use Portuguese. But how we are trying to break this barrier, when we had just started, we used to translate all our materials and our contents into all those languages, because we had some people who were helping us, people from Latin America in Brazil, who were helping us to translate English to Portuguese. And then people from France were helping us to translate English to French. But at the moment, we are no longer translating because we are trying to find a sustainable way, because we found like translating our materials may not be a sustainable way, but we can find a sustainable way, like dividing into regions, maybe having one community with two regions, a region of English and a region of French, because Africa has 21 French-speaking countries. Almost half of the continent, they speak French, and it's the official communication language for African Union. So we have, by all means, to find a way. So that's why we're trying to create that sustainable way. Then the second question, which is about the policy. Yeah, true. There is different bodies and different departments driving policies in Africa. But I will use Uganda as a case study. In Uganda, we have got two, I would call them two bodies: the technical side and the political side. The political side, they come up to discuss what are the effects of these emerging technologies. They discuss them in general as emerging biotechnologies. But the technical side try to harmonize the worries and the which the side has and try to find a harmony. And of recent, there was a WHO pilot study which was happening actually in East Africa, but in Uganda. This WHO pilot study was about the dual use of research, and these emerging biotechnologies such as synthetic biology came up as one of the hot things that everyone was talking about. And Kenya as a country already passed a law which was authorizing the use of some GMOs, some of them, and even some other countries like Ghana, they are on the same path, and even other countries in Africa are on the same path, but with very, very, very high regulations. So the teaching of these courses is not restricted, it is accepted, but the implementation, actually even the research is not restricted, is accepted, but the implementation like outside the lab is the one which is still restricted. But on the policy side, also as the technical people, we are trying to discuss with the political people to ensure that we find a harmony which is beneficial for the continent. Yeah.
And we have another question from the chat, which is, what skills should you develop as an undergrad interested in this field?
I would request Yasin to help me answer that question.
I mean, okay, so I mean, if you want to start, and then I can fill up on something.
Yeah, okay. Basically, the skills which you need to develop, they are not so much complicated, provided you have basic skills of basic science. I would say it's the biggest thing, and also knowledge about living systems. Maybe it's not a very, very, very like high-end thing that you need a lot of knowledge. To me, I guess that's the skill that you need. Then the rest of the skills, your mentors, your supervisors, and your teachers help you to gain them. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Well, I don't know how to answer, because I mean, I started synthetic biology long time ago. I mean at 15 years old, and ever since then I've kept synthetic biology and university like in separate ways. But I think that, yeah, I mean, in the same line in which our guests has told us today, like to be on top of your work, try to get inside initiatives, talks, and talk with people mainly, yeah. But also like try to work to work well under pressure, and to be aware that you are in a field that it's relatively new with the term of synthetic biology. But I mean, as Sophia has said earlier, lots of people are doing synthetic biology without knowing so. Maybe they are doing cellular biology or molecular biology, but they are truly making synthetic biology, because the frontier is like very, very thin yet. So, but I mean, I would say like to be aware of the world that you are working in, to be preoccupied on the things that are happening nowadays, on the problematics that are being struck in our planet, which is, I mean, is the whole point of synthetic biology, and to try to be responsible. Yeah. And Sophia wants to fill in with something else. So, well, in the chat they're also saying that you should also have some appreciation of bioinformatics, which I mean it's comprehensible if you're going to work with programming living beings. But yeah, is there any question at the moment? So if there aren't any more questions, I'm going to, well, we are going to close this event. Thank you all so much for coming in here, to the people that were have been in the meeting and have had to leave for any reason, and to you all, thank you so much for being in here today. If you